When we have a significant life event or like a traumatic event in our life, we often feel like this huge rush of emotion. Something might happen and we feel all of these things like anger, frustration, sadness, grief, fear. All of these emotions, they're energy in motion. And so we get this rush of energy through our body. When we have a significant life event, though, often those emotions don't just disappear after a few minutes or a few hours. They last for quite a long time. And when we have like a lengthy period of time where we're feeling so much energy, so much emotion in our body, we don't have the capability often to process all of that at once. And so what happens is that those excess emotions or excess energy that we haven't quite worked out what to do with or how to let that go yet, that energy can get stored in our body, in our lungs, in our organs, in our joints, in our bones. And then over time, we suddenly start to notice things like, oh God, I've got this really like annoying hip, or it's not quite moving the way it used to, or oh, I've got this like pain in my shoulder and I'm not entirely sure why, or all of a sudden I start feeling more and more anxious in my chest, and I kind of just wake up like that, and I'm not sure why this has happened. And sometimes we have an intuitive sense that, oh, it's probably related to something that we experienced in the past, or oh yeah, after this particular event I started to feel this thing happen in my body. But this is the beauty of Reiki. So we don't just, it's different from going to a doctor and just getting a pill to kind of fix that one little thing. But Reiki works on a much more holistic sense. And it never works on the specific injury or illness itself, but it works with the energy that has then manifested or created that particular illness or injury. So for example, if you have maybe a pain in your hip because of some significant life event where you've created or you've had a lot of fear in your body and you haven't really worked out what to do with that or how to process it, that fear, that emotion has actually been locked into your hip and then starts manifesting out as like, oh, a bit of less mobility, a bit of pain or a bit of tension or some other thing. So through Reiki, what we can do is actually start to shift some of that energy, some of that emotion, so that your energy can flow way more easily through your body. We create what we call a blockage. It's not really a blockage. It's more like an energy or an emotion being kind of like locked into the body, because our body memorizes or remembers how we feel in those times. So Reiki can just start to bring your whole nervous system back into rest and relax state of being. It can start to help your energy flow through your body. And that's why often after a Reiki session, you might feel really emotional, you might feel really tired, you might feel this whole big release. And then after a few days or a little while, maybe that hip pain that you were experiencing might start to soften, and you might start to realize, oh, yeah, that pain's kind of disappeared, or I haven't really experienced that tightness in my chest or that stiffness in my shoulder anymore. And it can feel like, oh yeah, this pain has disappeared. And often I know it can be really hard to maybe correlate that with the Reiki session, but I 100% believe in the fact that our energy, once it's moving and once it's shifting, your body wants to heal itself, and it will heal itself once you start to allow that energy, that excess emotion, to release out of your body. I hope this has made sense. If this has resonated with you, if you're feeling like, oh yeah, I've had this thing in my past, this experience, and now I'm having this pain or this problem, there might be a correlation, then I definitely urge you to book in for a Reiki session. At the moment, I'm still offering distant Reiki healings. They're just as powerful distantly as in person. So if you'd like to find out a little bit more information or book in for a session, click on the button below, send me an email or a phone call, and I'd love to hear from you soon.